Hi there, ladies and gentlemen, this is Eastwood for Life fan, and this is movie pickups update for the month of December 2019. Now, first things first, wish all you guys had a great Christmas, and may you have a healthy and prosperous new year in 2020. Anyway, we'll get to this update, and we'll start off with the DVDs first. And the first 4 DVDs were movies that I picked up in my local CX store for 50p. They're kind of like rewatches and a couple of blind buys of possible upgrades down the road if I really enjoyed these movies. And the first one is a movie that I have never seen before. Obviously, I've heard a lot about this movie, mid-80s movie with Michael Rooker, and this is Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer, and a bit of a video nasty back in the day. And this one's always skipped me by, never seen before, and by God, was this a real brutal watch. I've seen Michael Rooker in many films where he's played the villain. He always has a habit of playing the villain, always looking intense in his movies, like Mississippi Burning, Cliffhanger, and he was also in The Walking Dead. But this one was a real brutal and disturbing watch, where he plays a drifter released from prison after the murder of his mother, and he meets former jailbird Otis, and they go on this real vicious killing spree. And God, it was a real sickening movie to watch. Not as good as Maniac, which I kind of relate this movie to, but a good movie about a serial killer. And this was loosely based on real life events. A couple of Wesley Snipes movies. This one's Boiling Point. Good cast in this one. Wesley Snipes, Dennis Hopper, and Viggo Mortensen. A movie I watched back in the 90s, I think this one came out, early 90s, where Dennis Hopper plays an aging scam artist released from prison, and he takes an apprentice under his wing, Viggo Mortensen, and they kind of just trying to do scams where get rich schemes, and he's a bit of a chancer. And in one of his operations, he kills the partner of Wesley Snipes. Okay watch. I thought it was going to be a better watch in revisiting this movie, Boiling Point. I don't think there is a Blu-ray release of this movie. These are all UK DVDs that I picked up. Another Wesley Snipes movie. This is Money Train with Wesley Snipes and Woody Harrelson. I have seen this movie before. It's kind of like a cop buddy movie, this one. Badly need a revisit of this one. And it's funny seeing Woody Harrelson with long hair in this one. And there was loads of these movies in the 90s, kind of like Lethal Weapon rip-offs. Money Train. And the next one is Dog Soldiers, a werewolf movie that I've always wanted to check out. I know that there is a US Scream Factory release of this movie. I don't think there's a UK Blu-ray release of this one. And for some strange reason, I thought this movie was going to be an American movie, and it's a British werewolf movie, where a team of British soldiers, they go to Scotland on a kind of like a military exercise, and they are not the only ones there. There are It's kind of like human remains of a special ops squad, and there's only one remaining survivor, as there are werewolves in the forests up in Scotland. Pretty good movie, good werewolf movie. I really did enjoy this one. Some good gore and werewolf scenes, and thoroughly entertaining movie in Dog Soldiers. And probably I won't mind upgrading this one if I can pick up the Screen Factory US release for a good price. But yeah, good movie in Dog Soldiers. Next is some good old Chuck Norris goodness, and this one's The President's Man, and this is a made for TV action movie, early 2000. Haven't checked this one out yet, but I'm not expecting big things on this, as it'd probably be your typical Chuck Norris action movie. But yeah, and then picked up season 1 of Walker, Texas Ranger, where this Chuck Norris series ran for 8 seasons, where he plays Cordell Walker, a Texas Ranger, where he battles against crime in Dallas, in the Texas state. And this one's kind of inspired by the Lone Wolf McQuade movie that Chuck Norris did, which in my opinion is one of his best movies. And you can pick up these TV seasons pretty cheap. It is currently on UK TV. I never had a chance to watch this from the start, and it's kind of like a modern day Western series. And trying to finalise my Chuck Norris collection, and badly need to watch this TV series of Walker, Texas Ranger. I've seen the first kind of pilot series, and it's typical Chuck Norris, the American hero, a bit battling against crime. Picked up a couple of spaghetti western bootlegs that never been released before, and this one is Wrath of God, late 60s spaghetti western starring Brett Halsey. And as far as I know, there is only a Italian DVD and German Blu-ray release of this, but this one has English subtitles. Never seen this one before, so another one to the collection. And this one is 13 is a Judas. Very obscure spaghetti western, this one. Never been released with an English audio, this one as well. And picked up Days of Violence, and this is an official Koch Media release, a German release. Pretty good spaghetti western, this one, starring German actor Peter Lee Lawrence. I do have the bootleg with an English audio, but mainly wanted to pick this one up as it does have a English subtitles, and it comes in a digipack. Died at a very young age, Peter Lee Lawrence. He also had a small role in for a few dollars more. But yeah, one of his better spaghetti westerns in Days of Violence. And the last spaghetti western DVD I picked up is this early 70s spaghetti western known as Death Smith and Johnny Ears. And this is the Spanish release, Los Amigos. Very hard and difficult movie to track down, this one, starring Anthony Quinn and Franco Nero. And It does come with an English audio, not the best picture, even though it is a MGM movie. Rewatched this the other night, and thoroughly entertaining spaghetti western for an early 70s spaghetti western movie. And this one, the Republic of Texas has gained its independence from Mexico, and the president, Sam Houston, sends out for his spy, a deaf and mute gunslinger in Deaf Smith, played by Anthony Quinn, and his partner, Spaniard Johnny Ayres, and they both are on a mission to stop a Mexican general. Not one of the spaghetti westerns that are, I'd say, that's a classic, but it's highly recommended and very entertaining. And there's a great scene actually where Franco Nero, very well known and famous in spaghetti westerns for using the Gatling gun in many of his spaghetti westerns, and in a battle scene, Franco Nero he has trouble trying to set off the machine gun, only for Anthony Quinn to take over. But yeah, if you're a fan of spaghetti westerns and love high action, and this one's pretty violent, especially from the opening couple of scenes and the ending. A lot of comedy moments supplied by Franco Nero. If you can track this one down, it's worth picking up in Deaf Smith and Johnny Ayres. You did pick this up on Amazon Spain. And another movie starring Franco Nero. This is the Smilin Maniacs, and this one's kind of a corruption in the Palace of Justice, where Franco Nero plays an ambitious judge, and he hears that one of the top ranked politicians in Italy is a crook, played by Martin Balsam, and he has one of the more experienced judges at the courthouse, played by Fernando Rey, on the take. And heavy on dialogue. It's not really an action movie, but it was an okay watch for this pretty obscure corruption Italian crime drama in the Smilin Maniacs. On to the Blu-rays now, and the first one is a German release of a spaghetti western that's been released fully uncut for the first time. This is A Minute to Pray, A Second to Die, a late 1960s spaghetti western starring Alex Cord, Arthur Kennedy and Robert Ryan. And previously this movie was released by MGM on DVD, an American release, and that had the 98-minute version. But this one you do get the 118-minute fully uncut version there, with an English audio. And it does come with a booklet. Pretty good spaghetti western, this one. I enjoyed this one. Get an extra DVD. It comes with the booklet. Kino Lorber did bring out this movie on Blu-ray, but that was cut. And if you do like your spaghetti westerns, this one's highly recommended. As an extra, you get Robert Ryan and Arthur Kennedy. There he is in this movie. I've not checked out the full version, so looking forward to checking this one out, to watching this movie uncut for the very first time. And this one's about an outlaw played by Alex Cord, who struggles to live the life of a new man and a law-abiding citizen. And in Western times, you know that's not going to happen. as he's going to revolt back to his old ways. Another spaghetti western release, and this is the latest release by Wild East, a spaghetti western, an Italian film label. This is A Bullet for the President, also known as The Price is Power, which I've known this movie to be called. And for many years you could only get a Japanese or Brazilian release of this movie, but this is the bootleg DVD that I've had for quite a few years. So it's great to see Wild East release this Giuliano Gemma spaghetti western, directed by the director who made Day of Anger and My Name is Nobody. And this one is a kind of like a JFK president assassination storyline. One of Giuliano Gemma's better spaghetti westerns, and this one is number 63 in their catalogue. Transfer wise, it's pretty good. Still can't get used to this. Also, it's A Bullet for the President is also the other American title, but I've always known it as the price of power. And this spaghetti western movie that I picked up, did do an unboxing of the Fissile of Dynamite, aka Duck You Sucker. And this is the UK Eureka Masters of Cinema release. Fantastic release put out by Eureka. And if you missed that unboxing, then it's still on the channel. Fine release, and one definitely must pick this one up if you like your Italian or American westerns. Include it in your collection. Essential buy in A Fistful of Dynamite, Duck You Sucker, movie directed by Sergio Leone. Been picking up quite a few 88 Films releases, and this one I've actually picked up as a blind buy, Christmas Evil. For quite a few years now, I've always wanted to pick up the American Vinegar Syndrome release, and picked up the UK release of this, Christmas Evil, and I watched this on Christmas Eve. Excellent Christmas slasher movie. It's a first time watch for me. Comes with the slip cover, and you do get alternative artwork. Really enjoyed this movie, where it's about a toy factory worker, Harry, who realizes at a young age that Santa Claus isn't real, and he kind of gets obsessed with Christmas, and a lot of people kind of mock him, take the mickey out of him at work, and he's always trying to make the perfect toy at his place at work, and he kind of goes on a killing spree dressed up as Santa Claus. A disturbing and awkward watch, this movie. I did like the scene where he's kind of spying on the kids in the neighborhood, and he's kind of writing in this book of the naughty boys and girls around the neighborhood, and then he dresses up as Santa and goes on a killing spree. There he is. And it does come with the booklet, 12 Sleighs of Christmas, and it's basically a booklet talking about other Christmas slasher movies. Jack Frost, Silent Night, Bloody Night. Many of you guys in the horror movie community would have picked up Christmas Evil. This one I wouldn't mind picking up. Don't open till Christmas. I think on info that I gathered, this one's a British slasher movie. But if you like 88 films as a label, Christmas slashers, then I'd highly recommend in picking up Christmas Evil. The ending is somewhat a little bit strange and funny, but yeah, I really did enjoy this Christmas slasher movie in Christmas Evil. Very entertaining horror slasher movie. Finally picked up the limited collector set of Nightbreed, a Clive Barker movie, and this is one I haven't seen. I did enjoy his Hellraiser and Candyman movie, which I picked those movies up in these Arrow limited collector sets, and many of you guys would have seen this one being unboxed. And this one, I'm hearing it wasn't a cinema box office success. It kind of failed, but has got a bit of a cult following, Nightbreed, and this one's kind of like a dark fantasy horror movie. So I do not know what I am expecting on this one, and this does come with the 40-page booklet and loads of extras from Arrow Video. Next movie is a Midday drama movie about the civil war in El Salvador, and I haven't seen this one for quite a while, starring James Woods, John Savage and Jim Belushi. This is the UK Eureka release. This movie is directed by Oliver Stone, which I totally forgot about. Comes with 2 discs and the booklet. James Woods, fine actor. Always enjoyed him in Once Upon a Time in America, Casino, The Specialist, Videodrome, Cop, and he was also in The Onion Field and The Hard Way with Michael J. Fox, and he plays like a photo journalist. Well, not El Salvador, but just simply titled as Salvador. Jack Nicholson movie. I can't recall if I have seen this one. Hoffer, directed by Danny DeVito, which I didn't realise until I looked at the back of this American release. Crime drama about the American Labour Union boss Jim Hoffer, and he's played by Jack Nicholson, and he had connections with organised crime, and then in the mid-70s he went missing. Mainly picked this one up because I did watch the movie The Irishman, the Scorsese's new movie, and Al Pacino played Hoffer, Jim Hoffer, in that movie, so I kind of want to compare performances, who played the better portrayal of the union boss. And guys, let us know what you thought of The Irishman movie with Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, Harvey Keitel, and also Joe Pesci. But I can't recall if I've seen this movie or not. Obviously, I'd heard of it before. And as far as I know, there isn't a UK release of this. This is an American release, which you can pick up for a pretty good price. A movie that's I've always missed out on watching. This is American History X, and God, what a great movie this one. Kind of similar to, I say it's like a crossover between Mississippi Burning and the John Singleton movie Higher Learning. But this one, I didn't realise how strong a cast this one had. Obviously, this one stars Ed Norton. He plays a neo-Nazi who gets put away for 3 years for killing 2 black men, and then he comes out of prison trying to change his ways, and his brother, played by Edward Furlong, kind of worships him, and he tries to prevent his younger brother from going the same route as Edward Norton. But strong cast in this one, also in this movie. I didn't realise, because it didn't say on the back, Beverly D'Angelo. She was always very popular in the Lampoon Vacation movies, and also Elliot Gould and Stacy Keach is in this hard-hitting drama movie, American History X. Excellent movie. Next one's a World War II movie, Fury, starring Brad Pitt, and watched this one the other day. Very good war movie, this one, about the tank commander and his team in Germany, and his team go through Nazi Germany on deadly missions, and in their tank team, a young less experienced American soldier is included in the team. Great battle scenes in this, a great watch, and that's kind of not a bad quote, the best war film since Saving Private Ryan. I wouldn't mind checking out Hacksaw Ridge, the Mel Gibson movie, but yeah, really did enjoy the action scenes in this movie, in Fury. TV series that I picked up for a pretty good price, the first 4 seasons, The Sons of Anarchy. I picked the first 4 seasons for a ridiculously low price of only £7. This is about outlaw bikers. The main leader, I think, is Ron Perlman. Season 1. Season 2. I have seen the first 4 episodes when this was screened on UK TV. Season 3. And season 4. I do need to try and pick up the last 3 seasons. There were 7 seasons in total. Guys, if you've seen Sons of Anarchy, how does it compare to some of the other great TV series out there, like The Wire, The Sopranos, Game of Thrones, and Breaking Bad? Let us know. Next one's a Sly Stallone movie that I haven't seen since I watched this at my local cinema. I think this one's a mid-90s disaster movie set in New York, directed by Rob Cohen, and he was the director of the first Fast and Furious movie. And I did enjoy this one back in the cinema when I watched it, so a rewatch of this one, of this disaster movie, is needed. And from one action hero to another, from Stallone to Arnold Schwarzenegger, I picked up this Film Arena Limited Collector's steelbook release of Sabotage, and it comes in a lenticular slipcover steelbook, and it comes in with a lot of goodies. It's only limited to 1,000 pieces, and I have number 168. You do get the card, loads of goodies, which I'm going to do an unboxing of, because even though these releases are pretty expensive, you do get quite a lot of goodies, sort of movie cards and booklets and posters, and I'm looking forward to opening this one up. And I know this movie kind of gets a lot of hate, Sabotage, but I really enjoyed this one, about a elite DEA team, and they They sort of attack and go through a safe house that belongs to a drug cartel, and they confiscate or take $10 million, which goes missing. And yeah, I mean, it's not one of Arnie's best movies, but I really enjoyed this one when I watched this one at my local cinema. And yeah, if anyone's got any Film Arena collector's steelbook release, they know that these are quite expensive, but you do get quite a few extras and goodies inside. Sabotage. Onto the 4K titles, and I only picked up 2, and from one Arnie movie to another. Had to pick up one of my favourite Arnold Schwarzenegger movies and Walter Hill movies. This is Red Heat. This is the 4K Blu-ray and Zavvi Steelbook, and this movie has been remastered with a new transfer. Arnie plays a Russian cop, Ivan Danko, and he's following a Georgian drug lord who kills his partner, and then he goes to Chicago, which Arnie goes over there and he has to team up with Jim Belushi. Great action scenes, comedy one-liners and car chases in this one. Do like the more simple steelbook look. There is the iconic picture of Red Heat that most people would recognise was the poster of this late 80s Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. Excellent release of Red Heat. And the last movie, a Christmas classic in It's a Wonderful Life, starring James Stewart. I watched this one on Christmas Day, and the transfer of this movie, which is a mid-1940s movie, has never looked as good. And everybody knows about this movie. George Bailey, who has a meet with an angel from heaven, and he gives him the choice of what his life could be if he doesn't exist. As he's a local businessman who runs a small community bank. Yeah, fine release, and digitally restored and remastered, and it looks beautiful. This classic movie of It's a Wonderful Life. So guys, that's all that I picked up in the month of December. Many thanks for watching the channel and commenting. Really appreciate that you guys watch the channel and add comments, and look forward to more interaction. And I am approaching the 500 subs mark, and there will be a nice competition coming fairly soon. So till the next video guys, stay healthy and well, and have a great prosperous new year in 2020, and stay tuned for the next video. As always, keep on collecting physical media.